You're a busy person, Monique.
I am. I think my earphones are gonna die on me. I just got off all meeting. I've been on Zoom all morning. All right. So I'm just gonna pull up the agenda. Should have it memorized by now, but Ashleen, would you mind taking notes?
Oh, no, not at
I can
all.
send you the thing.
Yes, please.
There, I'll put it in the chat just to you. Hey, everybody. Okay. Anybody have anything different than the agenda? Okay. Is Gary on yet? I don't see Gary yet. Maybe we will come back to Gary. Communications. I don't think I have anything in particular. I don't know. I guess just to remind, like, if anybody needs anything on the website at all, just feel free to like send stuff. I haven't updated that in a while. I feel like the resources haven't changed that much. So, and the Facebook page in the meantime is just it's pretty busy. So, people have been sharing. If you're not on that at all, let me know and I can add you. But people have been sharing things like, you know, COVID test locations and requests for volunteers and stuff like that. I don't think I have anything new on volunteer coordination. Sarah, do you want to do a state update?
I am happy to. We are jumping from campaign season right into session preparation. And so there's lots of meetings and lots of chatter going on. Luckily, I can take all of them from the comfort of my office upstairs from the buzz, because we're all meeting remotely almost exclusively. The one project that I'm working on that would be of interest to members of this group is around giving towns and other municipal bodies, meaning school districts, water and fire districts, sewer districts, those sorts of things, flexibility around how to hold their annual meeting and how to accomplish passage of a budget and election of officers. So basically the plan is to give flexibility for any of these municipal bodies, schools included, to either delay the timing of their annual meeting, or to allow them to mail out their ballots if they wish to allow you to hold your elections by Australian ballot, even if your typical mode of adopting budget and electing officers is by an in-person meeting. And then also just allowing the Secretary of State to, to make any clarifying, supplemental elections procedures to help with that. I guess the big worry that I have as I think about the prospect of passing a town budget and next year's school budget by Australian ballot is, it would be nice not to have a repeat of how difficult this year's budget process has been for our school district. And so I guess I would I would caution folks who are a part of a municipal body to think very carefully about how you want to accomplish passage of your budget and the other business of your annual meeting. Because I think with all of the uncertainty folks have on their finances, it could be really difficult to pass budgets right now. So happy to take questions.
Thanks, Sarah. Ted, town stuff? And I guess I think on the agenda is town meeting tonight, right? So you might not have answers for leaning off of Sarah's info just
Right.
yet.
I was just going to say, obviously, yeah, as Sarah said, that will be a high priority, but the legislative session doesn't even begin until January. And we need to send in the town report like a week after the legislature goes into session. So my guess, and it's always dangerous to say what the select board will probably do, but my guess is tomorrow evening, we'll probably pass a motion that says we plan to hold our town meeting by Australian ballot, provided that that's allowable under state statute by the time town meeting rolls around. Because obviously we can't decide to do something that's not consistent with current state law. But yeah, I mean, if anybody had asked me a year ago, at last year's town meeting, do you really think that, in the 2021 town meeting we'll still be in this situation? I couldn't have imagined it. I do remember one person asked, how well prepared is the community? And I said, oh, I think we're pretty well prepared. And I think that was probably true, although I sort of laugh at how utterly clueless I was about what was yet to come during the year in between. But, I think we've all stumbled around and done all that. Other town stuff, don't have anything huge or shocking to report. We're trying to manage the town, as normally as we can. The skating rink is, I think they put in the liner this past weekend at Elizabeth Park. So we plan to have the skating rink open. Obviously, people will need to be careful and not so much with the skating activities, but with the warming and whatnot. But yeah, we're trying to run the town as normally as we can under these bizarre circumstances.
Thanks, Ted. Let's see, Ashleen, food?
I don't have much more. I don't have much new stuff to report other than we are working to make it a little more efficient between Bradford and East Corinth Thompson area. So we've connected with Jeff Spiegel and the Corinth Coalition to mobilize some volunteers out there who can meet with willing hands and get it out directly to people. They wouldn't be transferring people or anything like that. They'd just be delivering meals. So the meal delivery situation is going really well. Clara Martin Center has actually unclaimed holiday baskets, and we were able to equip them with enough turkeys so that holiday baskets are full. So if you're connected with a business that might need or have connections to people who may need holiday baskets that include turkey and all the sides, kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner, Clara Martin Center is doing that, and I can try to add the link to that. And then the food shelves are still open. They may be closed for the week of Christmas.
Awesome, thanks, Ashleen. Does anybody else have anything to add on food? Oh, maybe I'll see if Gail does. She's coming in.
So Monique, I can jump
Yeah,
in for just a second. Sure. There are emerging plans for a bulk holiday meal program going out through the schools for at least the first week of the vacation. That is an emerging plan. Yeah, so that's the main thing there for us. We'll try to help out.
Cool. Thanks, Bruce. I think I saw Gail. Oh, we'll come back to Gail. I don't see, Ashley, are there any updates from Little Rivers at all as far as health medical stuff goes?
Sorry, I just posted in the chat for everyone. Oh shoot,
Okay.
I sent it to me. Can you just for everyone? All right. Sorry.
That's fine.
Anyways, yeah, so for
That's the
Little
wrong
River,
one.
we are testing every day of the week, Monday through Friday. I don't have my exact times pulled up right now, but I think it's 2 to 4 or something like that. But you call ahead regardless. You have to be a Little Rivers patient still. We are doing asymptomatic testing. If you think for any reason you've been exposed, you can come test. We are testing. We will be testing through all weather. We have warming huts ready. If you've been up into Wells River, you'll see too that we demolished the building that was next to the clinic. So we actually have more parking area there now. And we are being considered to be a state test site, though dates and specific information about that hasn't been established yet, but that is soon to come. And I think it has been, unfortunately, it has been advertised somewhere because we've been getting calls about it, but we are not established as a state testing site yet. We should be soon. We are also doing vaccines. Sorry, not vaccines. Hope this isn't being recorded. We're not doing vaccines, but we are doing testing at businesses. So if businesses need to reach out, I know we've done Wells River Savings Bank, and we're obviously going to the schools. So we're going up to BMU. We either did it already or we're coming up this week. So if you are part of a business that needs to be tested, you can reach out to Little Rivers and we can try to coordinate.
Cool. Thanks, Ashley. And I think, oh, go ahead, Marvin.
Ashley, the numbers in Bradford and Newbury have jumped up quite significantly in looking at the weekly by town numbers. Can you tell us exactly who? No, not really. Can you tell us, is most of that coming as a result of the hockey rink thing in Barrie that's sifting this way, or is it just kind of really sporadic, or is there anything because I don't know anybody actually who's says that they're positive. So, I mean, I'm just curious, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we were actually discussing that. Let me just quickly pull up my notes because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But basically, over the weekend, there were 247 cases in the state, and then as of today, so this is the last 24 hours. Orange County has only had 1, and Washington County has 9. I don't know that they are directly connected to the hockey rink. I do think that they are more over in like the Randolph Barrie area. Though I will say we are having positive cases here in Bradford, Wells River. I'm not sure about East Corinth, but it's huge. And we've had 2 incidences where it was families. So mostly what happens is like we'll get 2 positive. I've never had more than 2 positive cases. And if we have them, it's typically because it's a family and they gave it to each other and somehow had gotten it from like somebody else. But it's typically small gatherings and family. Though the numbers are not high here in Bradford.
Gary, do you want to do the emergency management update?
The only thing that's different right now, other than what I've said in the last few weeks, is we got notice. Found on the state website that they're going to have another farm to families meal box distribution up at the highway garage in Wells River on the 23rd. One of the frustrations that I have and Emmy Hausman is that they don't give any word to the local town so we can get the word out. You've got to just search that site
Wow.
every 2 or 3 days to find out, and then they fill up very fast. But so as you saw, I put it on a listserv this morning, and I'll do it in another 2 or 3 days, but it could be filled up already.
Okay.
But it looks like it'll be the last one, so I'm encouraging anybody who needs to sign up quickly.
Okay. And I think Upper Valley Ambulance is doing COVID pop-up testing every single day.
They are,
okay.
yes. In fact, my wife and I got tested down there a week ago, a
Okay.
week and a half ago. Yeah. The new testing is, if you are thinking of the testing they did in the spring where they run the swab
Up
down
your brain.
your nose, it's gonna come out the other end, which is not terribly painful, but a little discomforting. The new testing is simple. You do it yourself, three swabs in each nostril. So anybody that was turned off by the previous one, I would encourage them not to be. The new ones are just no comparison. If you get hurt, it's because you did it yourself.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see. I don't see Aaron. Marvin, do we have anything business-wise to update?
I don't think so. I mean, the Bradford Business Association is really trying to stress the shop local and, anything that any of us can do to keep people in town or at least in the region for their shopping, their safe shopping is appreciated. So it's a tough season, as we know, for the retailers, and we got to help them get through it because we don't know when any more federal help's going to be coming.
Let's see, Marianne or Carol, either one of you, both of you.
I don't have anything new to add. Maybe Mary Ann does.
Okay.
No, I don't think I have anything new to add other than, I think this ongoing isolation is really affecting a lot of my clients. And with the adult day, well, not that the adult day was open, but with knowing that they're not going to open again, it's hard. I was wondering, Carol, a month or two ago, you had mentioned that the senior center was starting some exercise classes. Are they continuing that at this time?
No, everything is closed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the numbers that we're seeing, I think that's the way it has to be, unfortunately. Yeah. But no, nothing new other than that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see. Bruce, schools?
Sure, and Danielle is here as well, obviously. So just a couple of things. Number one, we'll have the second round of surveillance testing of staff on December 16th. The first one, we had a pretty good volunteer percentage. I think the information, it kind of came around pretty quickly. So we probably will get more people tested this time around. That is one thing. And then the other that's related to it, it is interesting to see around the state. There are some districts that have chosen to go remote for anywhere from a week or two around Thanksgiving to all the way into January. And I will say that we had a leadership meeting on Tuesday, and there is a very strong determination. Of course, we'll be driven by the data, but there's a very strong determination to keep our schools open as scheduled. So I mean, that's kind of all.
I was muted. Thanks, Bruce.
And then
Danielle?
Danielle, I don't know
Yeah.
if she's got a. Yep.
Yeah, so I think, I will definitely, sort of piggyback on what Bruce said. There is a determination to try and keep schools open. And as a parent and as, a school board member who talks to quite a few parents, that is, there is a huge appreciation for that. in the community, obviously, trying to be aware of the complications and the situations that brings up is really important too. But, me just seeing the impacts of my own children as far as, isolation and those types of things, having even just 2 days a week, some contact is been, hugely beneficial. So I do applaud them for that. I know that it's not easy. And then last week, the board met and has made the decision to keep the budget number the same. And I think if I can do this, I think I just posted the information. Yep. And so the budget amount has remained the same. We've rewarned it to vote again on January 13th. We have switched it to having people call for their ballots, and the polls will be open as usual from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. One thing of note is that Newberry's polling place is not going to be the town office. It's going to be the school, which is their sort of official polling place when the office can't be used because they've got some surveyors there or something. So they will be doing that vote at the school, which means the school will be remote that day so that there's no crossover as far as students with the public. So if you want a mail-in ballot, you just need to call the town clerks and they will send it out. Part of the reason we did that is because when we did it mailed out to everybody during the presidential election, the clerks had indicated that that was an easier process to manage for them. In other words, they knew they were going to send everybody a ballot. They could sit down and get it all done and get those ballots out to everybody instead of having 5 or 6 calls every day or, whatever to manage. So that's part of the reason why we've gone that way. If people have questions, certainly reach out. Tonight we're meeting as a board and we'll be coming up with sort of what our official communication is going to be as far as, are we going to mail something to every household? Are we going to continue to sort of do the general blitz through listservs and the JO, the Bridge Weekly, Facebook, on the websites. I do want to mention that I have been working pretty hard with the OESU office and we're doing, I feel like we're doing a better job getting information up onto the websites. I do know there's some information that's not quite right. So we're still working out some of the kinks, but it does seem to be getting better. So for sure, that's a good place to start to look for information. Not that it's, a huge deal, but, if anybody is looking for information that they don't see on there, you can certainly email me. And I've been able to sort of either get it from my own backup information that I've got on my computer, or I can reach out to the SU office and get it out to people. So certainly feel free if there's information that you're looking for that you can't find. And I think that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Danielle. Go ahead, Marvin.
I just wonder, Bruce and Danielle, do you know if there are any districts in the state that are having the middle school and the high school with more in-school time than ours? And has there been any discussion on what the data has to show before we could, perhaps go to 4 days a week or something like that? I mean, is that in at least in the considering stages, or is that kind of pipe dream at this point?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's a pipe dream. I think it's a really good question, number one. Number two, I think it's the kind of thing that Gene Wheeler and in consultation with Emily and others thinks about literally every day. When and how can we manage a more full opening? And of course there was for a while, and then we switched back to the schedule that we're on right now. So the first part of your question, though, are there, I don't know the details. I know that Gene keeps track of this through VPA, but I'm sure it's fair to say that there is a spectrum. There probably are some schools that are fully opened. There are many, many, many school systems that are operating pretty much along the lines that we are. And there are an increasing number that are closed down, at least temporarily through January, January, first week or two of January. So it's quite a variety. And I don't know, you could draw any conclusions from that. I don't know if the trend seems to be a little bit in the direction of more closure rather than less. I'm just saying that is not where that's not our thinking at this point. Of course, we have to be driven by the data, but it's comforting to hear that we've only had, a very, very small number of cases in our local communities, and that helps for sure.
And Marv, I wrote down your question, and I will see if I can't pull up some information as far as, what it looks like out there for others and what they're using as a threshold. I know, obviously, like Bruce said, we're definitely going by the Vermont Principals Association and, the governor's guidelines and what we can keep, safely enforced in the schools as far as, distancing and, keeping the kids at a safe social distancing piece. So that's definitely part of the consideration. And I know Jean was very frustrated only because she was looking to try and get all kids back on campus 4 days a week prior to Thanksgiving. And then obviously the lead up to Thanksgiving created just a situation that it wasn't a viable option. And we ended up having to go the other way. So she is constantly working to try and see if that's an option. Yeah, and then the only other thing I wanted to mention, which I forgot to, about the sports, right now, sports are on hold for the students. But I do know, in talking to Mr. Cipriano, the athletic director, I had talked to him about the town being very supportive of outdoor activities and trying to come up with ways to do cross-country skiing or skating or those types of things. And he is very open to that. And I know that they're trying to work on coming up with stuff to sort of fill that void, hopefully in January, regardless of what the state guidelines are as far as indoor sports, trying to look at some options to do things outdoors. So that's definitely on the radar. So hopefully we might need some volunteers or something. I told my kids that I would be down there with a whistle and a helmet and some hockey skates if need be. But anyway, so yeah, so there is constantly looking for ways to keep things somewhat normal for the students. So anyway.
Cool, thanks, Danielle. Gail, I don't know if you might have a customer.
He's gone.
All right.
So things are moving along at the library. We're staying closed. I appreciate these meetings because it gives me, well, I have a board meeting tonight and I would like to continue to offer curbside for a little while through the holidays. And I do notice that, like, must be Wednesdays the kids aren't in school because they're all hanging out on the front porch of the library together, tight.
That's not great.
No masks. So just saying. I go out and kind of remind.
High school kids?
Well, the neighborhood here. So that's anywhere from 5 years old to 11th graders.
Right.
Yeah. So I try to encourage them. I don't want to, what do you do? So that's happening. And then I'm trying to be creative to support the community. I'm offering a drive-by book giveaway. My board members have wrapped a bunch of brand new books, and my partner and I here are dressing up as Santa's elves. And on the 19th, a Saturday, we'll be out front as people drive by. So if you know anybody that, remind them that there'll be a drive-by book giveaway, distance, but everything's wrapped and clean. And we've had really good attendance at our online programs, our Zoom programs, which is really encouraging because a lot of people, don't, but even our seniors have been participating, and our numbers are up, as well as our for circulation. And also I've been creating many, many more patron accounts for more folks, especially students that I've been able to reach out to for online services and online audio and ebooks. So I feel like that's been helping the community some. And we have a beautiful new renovated library. And one of these days you're all going to come in. Oh, and speaking of that, I am working on a video to sort of have in a virtual open house for the community because of our appreciation for everything. So I think that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Gail.
Thank you.
Gail, real quick, what day were you doing the drive-by book giveaway?
Saturday, the 19th.
Great, thanks.
I also have right now a bunch of little craft kits. I made a bunch of takeaway little kits for kids to make their own gingerbread houses, and people can pick them up and have been, and they've been really cute, sending me pictures. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Trying to see if I'm missing anybody. Churches, Carol Taylor.
Nothing new on the churches. They're all closed still. Well, the Catholic Church, I guess, isn't, but Methodist Church is doing a survey still to see about opening. But other than that, the others are closed.
And Carol, do you want to give an update for the Fair Association? Because I know you have an event coming up.
Yeah, we're going to do the drive-through Santa on the 12th from 10 to 12. They'll drive in, we'll give the kids a gift, and then they'll just turn around and leave, but at least they'll have a chance to see Santa.
Sorry again, what was the date? It's the 19th as well?
It's December 12th from 10 to 12.
Where is that?
Down on the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see, I don't see Linda or Ramsey, I don't think. I don't know that there's much of it. And actually, I'm just going to ask, who's called in as 802-578-4005? You press *6 to unmute.
This is Ramsey. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, Ramsey. Okay, good. I'm glad I checked.
Sorry, I had a mute button and it told me if I had a smartphone and I had a mute button, I could unmute myself, but it wasn't working.
No, you're good.
And I kept getting kicked off because I'm having bad weather and I was on the road. So I don't have any major updates. There was an extension for the Money to Move program until the 20th of December. So that's good because it was supposed to end this Friday. So that's been extended. The rental arrears program is, the deadline is this Friday, the 11th, to apply. It was cutting in and out. I was in a bad spot when we were doing the food update. So I don't know if this was mentioned, but Clara Martin was doing some Christmas baskets with turkeys, and I think they had a few still left. So
cool. Thanks, Ramsey. Yeah, actually, we'll make sure it gets a note in the notes. She provided a link for that.
Okay. And as far as housing goes, I am at the moment sort of trying to help work on a project with trying to get the campground in Thetford connected to different resources that might help them get some, think about winterizing their water supply so that they could offer sites year round. And it was just an interesting thing in talking to Mike, who is one of the new owners. I asked him how many people he thought that they had there this summer that were camping, that they could have offered spaces to if they were able to do it through the winter. And he said 20 people or 20 campers, which that's a really big number for people who are willing to stay in a camper over the winter. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah. Thanks, Ramsey. And Ramsey, I think something that might come out of the housing forum, I think, is we have a meeting in January for the steering committee, and I think Marvin, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but we were thinking about it being a topic for the steering committee as far as like maybe a task force or something to come out of that. So it would definitely reach out to you, of course. And
oh, right, yeah. So we are in our continuum of care. We are trying to make sure that we are covering all of the areas that we represent. And a lot of our different regions, a lot of spots in our regions, what we're calling micro regions, do have a housing team that really focuses on what to do about housing. So we are hoping that something like that will happen in Bradford.
Okay, so we'll just make sure we're syncing up and not recreating. Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
if you guys, so basically we don't know where that would come from. So
Sure.
if it, where it is in other places, a lot of times it's sort of like this group. I feel like the people that are involved in it are the people that are involved in this current group are in the other towns are kind of very, very similar. So
Cool. Awesome. And Sarah had a question, I think, or an update.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out to folks, if you have anyone that you're working with who's trying to access that money to move program, that even though the deadline to apply is the 20th, if somebody's got a landlord who's offering a January 1st rental, they could still get in under the wire. So if you're working with anyone who's moving for January 1st, do encourage them to get their name in for that program so that we can get as many people support as need be.
Cool. Thanks, Sarah. Yep. Go ahead, Marvin.
And I had a question for Ted and and also while Sarah's still on. Ted, can you give us an update on whether anything's cooking with the vault on Main Street under the sidewalk? And Sarah, beyond that, I mean, where can we try to find some money to get this damn thing done so the building can get sold and turned into a food hub and really make Main Street a great shopping mecca and all that. So help us, Ted.
The contractor has started doing some work, and they still say they're going to get it done this season, although originally it was going to be this fall, and this fall is very quickly turning into this winter. But they've been going in and out of the vault through the basement, through the bottle and can depot. They do say that they're going to have to cut a hole in the sidewalk to begin filling it, and they plan to do that sometime in the next several weeks. We haven't gotten really firm schedules, which is why I keep saying sometime this fall, but it is scheduled to happen. And I should point out that right now they're going to be filling in the deepest, sort of most high danger area. We don't have the money to fill in the entire vault. We're going to be doing it in several different stages. And we've been searching for money for over a decade, and every source of funding has basically said, yeah, boy, that vault, so that's a serious problem, but it doesn't quite fit our criteria, so we can't help you. So if there's any money out there, I haven't found it yet.
Do you have an estimate on what the total cost would be to fill the whole thing?
Probably $500,000. I think we're looking at 220,000 for the roughly third that we're going to be doing in the next several weeks.
What are they filling it with? That sounds really expensive.
I know, it's ridiculous. I can't quite wrap my brain around how it can cost $500,000 to fill in a hole, but there's apparently a lot more than just shoveling in some fill material. So
I had a
don't know
question on
exactly
that.
what material they're using.
I had a question on that because shoot, now I'm gonna forget who it was. I'll remember. It was on GMEDC meeting. I think Bob brought it up, and I think it was VTC. Somebody had like fill that students from one of the colleges like work on projects and bring fill around the state, and like if that's an issue, we make sure to like not let it hold up, because if apparently there's a source of fill that we can, I'll have to remember which school it was, but it was one of the colleges.
Well, we've been working pretty closely with Bob, so
Okay.
I can touch base with him again.
I feel like I think it was like a call with Bob.
Is it the main issue, the foundation of the building?
Well, it is, and I think one complicating factor is that Abishan Realty has said that they don't intend to put a penny toward the sidewalk project, and they don't want us messing with the building. And we've tried to point out politely that their building needs some structural support, and it would make sense for them to put in structural support at the same time we're doing the vault. And they basically told us to go scratch. So we'll be filling in the vault. We won't be touching the building. And I think it's still going to remain a problem for any potential buyer, because any structural engineer who looks at it will say the front wall needs more support.
Right.
Okay. Mike's not on, so I don't have any transportation updates. I know that they have a groundbreaking of the new facility on, I think I forwarded that to everybody on like the 19th or something like that. Yeah. Marcy made a joke that it's a little bit past groundbreaking, but they've got a bunch of stuff there. But yeah, go ahead, Danielle. Oh, you're muted.
I just muted myself. Jeez. That Mike had reached out to me prior to our last board meeting and indicated that he would be willing to talk to the district as far as possible transportation solutions if it came down to a situation where transportation was a cost that was not feasible for us to continue forward, which I just wanted to share in this group because I think it definitely came from this group as far as that connection. And it just was really nice of him to reach out and say, we could take a look at this and, sort of figure out, maybe ways that we can still get these kids to and from school in a different format. As far as what he's available to do in the way of grants and that kind of thing. So it just was really nice. I just wanted to mention that.
Cool. Thanks, Danielle. Anybody have anything else? Or did anybody not go? Brian, did you have anything? I didn't call on you.
I don't really have anything. I mean, it's the same stuff with youth sports. It looks like it's just kind of dead on arrival because I don't think that we're going to have the facilities or the governor's green light to do that. I do know that the ice rink went up and got filled this past Sunday. So hopefully that will freeze before people walk through it, and we'll have some good ice to skate on.
Cool. Thanks, Brian. And go ahead, Marvin.
Is Patty still?
I had an idea for when Danielle was talking about cross-country skiing. Maybe Oxbow could be on the cutting edge and create a new sport. Instead of biathlon, cross-country skiing and shooting, you could do cross-country skiing and disc golf. You got the course out there. It'd be kind of a cool, I don't know what you'd call it, but somebody could come up with a cool name. So work on that, would you?
For sure. I'll put Samuel on it.
And Gary, Patty's not still on.
You know if the lobby of the bank's still closed?
Yes, as far as I know, it's just drive up only. Looking ahead at the next meeting, it's December 23rd, so it's getting close to the holiday. Is that what are people? I'm not going anywhere or doing anything. So, but what is everybody else? Is everybody else available, or at least a majority?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll still have it. And I guess as far as business for the end of the crew, Ashleen kicked my butt because I didn't put minutes up yet. So by the next meeting, if I have not done it, just bug me a bunch. So we don't have anything else in the extended session of voting members, but thanks everybody for getting on.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank
Yeah.
you.